You know, I was talking to one of my colleagues just before we started and made an important point that today we're really here to be the adults in the room when it comes to the school bus discussion, the electric school bus mandate. This is the number one issue that I have heard from every superintendent that I've spoken with, every school board association meeting. So many folks are concerned about this. And as the leader pointed out, it's not workable. It can't be done. Let's talk about some of the specifics here. Just so everyone understands, there are about 800 school districts in New York State. There are 50,000 school buses right now. That means it's roughly $20 billion with a B to buy all the electric school buses, which run about triple of what a standard school bus would run. But on top of that, the reliability of these things is incredibly poor. On a good sunny day, a 70-degree day, it's a 100-mile range. But we're seeing now that, like we saw in Chicago recently with all these dead Teslas, that in cold weather, the conditions that we have, particularly in upstate New York and rural areas, that 100 miles is not going to be achievable. And the governor has patted herself on the back for dedicating about $500 million, a drop in the bucket. That's not even enough to put one school bus, one EV school bus in every school district in New York State. Where is the rest of the money coming from? It's going to come from our school districts. It's going to come from our property taxpayers that are already overwhelmed and overburdened by this mandate. So today, we're here to talk about reality. Unfortunately, our colleagues on the other side of the aisle like to think aspirationally. We're not in the aspiration business. We're not in the dream business. We're in the reality business, and this is not a reality for New York State schools, and it has to stop. That's why I proposed that we, again, pump the brakes on this, but most importantly, let's do something that my colleagues like to do all the time. Let's actually do a real study. Let's make sure that let's have NYSERDA study this in every condition, in the cities, in the suburban areas, in our rural areas. Let's find out what happens. They don't want to do a study because they know what's going to happen. They're going to say it's not going to work. And when the government mandates something, it's going to get more expensive and not cheaper. So the cost is probably going to escalate, because the first thing they're going to learn is that you can't have a one-for-one trade-out between an electric school bus and a diesel-powered school bus, because you're going to need to have some standing by. On top of that, and some of the other people that you will hear from today will talk about the additional infrastructure costs it's going to take, and the fact that right now we don't really know what's going to happen when a bus that's twice as heavy as a regular school bus goes over a bridge in a rural area. We're putting our children's lives at stake. Batteries running dead in the dead of winter, what's going to happen in a road and bridge that hasn't been tested, but that doesn't seem to matter to our colleagues on the other side of the aisle. They want to push forward. They want our kids to be the guinea pigs for their ridiculous boondoggle idea, and it has to stop.